Welcome to Health Matters with Dr. Nelson Bulmash, sponsored by the UI Radio Network at uiradionetwork.org. Catch us on Facebook and Instagram at United Intentions and Twitter at Higher Intention. Look for us on 99.1 FM, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and many more. Over the next hour, we'll introduce you to some fascinating people and engaging discussions that may provide you with answers to assist in revolutionizing your own personal health. And now, here's Dr. Nelson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Nelson Bulmash, the host of Health Matters on the UI Media Network. It's so wonderful for me to be with you today. What a glorious day here in Atlanta, Georgia. And before we get started, I want to thank all my local listeners listening here in Atlanta on Talk 10 FM and WGJY FM 99.1. My guest wanted to know some of the other locations. The other location that we're at in particular is in Ohio and Kentucky. We're being listened to there on WTTA 101.2 FM. We're also on Binge Networks TV in 90 countries around the world. And we're on every major social media platform like Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Blog Talk, and Facebook Live. If you want to call into today's show, we'd love to hear from you. The phone number is 678-495-4345. Again, that's 678-495-4345. You're also welcome to submit your questions on Facebook Live. My guest today is amazing. She has quite a history. I wish I had her for at least 2 hours because I have so much I want to discuss with her. She is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of the book Connection, The Currency to Happiness. She's also an inspirational speaker and a life coach. Linda, it's a pleasure to have you on Health Matters. Thank you for joining us today.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. Good afternoon to all my US friends. And good morning to all the Australian and Asia friends.
You're calling in from Sydney this morning. Well, your early evening, our time. You're what, 7 o'clock in the morning? Is that
Yes.
about right?
Yes, it's just past 7 o'clock in Sydney. Sydney is the place where all the koalas are always eating and sleeping. It's the happiest place to be. And it suits my quote: happiness is another form of wealth, and it's the most treasured form of wealth.
I love that. I am so grateful. You and I have sparked an amazing friendship. I love your work. I love your book. You know, I just finished it. It's interesting because it was about 400 pages and just amazing. I read it in 3 sittings. I was that enthralled with it. So,
wow.
you know what I want to say? I want to say a few things. First of all, I want to apologize. You can't believe this. My book was supposed to be finally delivered today. I don't know what the holdup was. And I stepped out and the person came by and the door was locked. So I actually didn't get it delivered today. So I have my version on Kindle and I have read it thoroughly. I enjoyed it immensely. It is action-packed. And I just, before we even get started, I want to thank you for a number of things. First of all, I love when somebody can take content that could be very complicated and they make it simple so that anyone and everyone, regardless of your educational level, can understand it well. And not only understand it well, but you make your case in a way that it's not only easy to understand, but it's very easy to implement. Congratulations. That's an incredible feat.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess that reflects on my own journey. I was born at the end of the Vietnam War. We had minimum of everything. At the time, all I seen was black and white TV, black and white photo.
Right.
So everything was quite basic. And then at the age of 15, suddenly I was teleported to Sydney.
Wow, what a
And
change.
so,
Goodness gracious.
yes. So I did not even see what a computer looked like. It was a complete, total different world. So if we could just imagine that suddenly you've gone to some really far land,
Right.
you don't even speak the language, and everything is completely black and white. The
Yes.
opposite.
Yes.
All colorful, it's all black and white. And so then what happened was that I was looking for my happiness because I was not happy then. So I was looking for my happiness, and I looked and looked, and I just wished that some book could help me. So I wrote the book that I couldn't find. So as I was looking at the time, now bearing in mind my language skill was minimal, my English skill
Right.
was really minimal.
Sure.
So all the book on happiness was written, by academias, spiritual gurus, and my understanding at the time was that you got to go through 7 layers of spiritual transformation, so-called, in order to reach enlightenment, in order to get your happiness, to
Right.
achieve happiness. And so I kept searching, searching, and when I found it, I just found a way to articulate it that you actually don't have to. And so yes, I try to share it because I got the image at the time that because of the concept that I got, that you have to go through so many layers, and so no wonder why everybody can't get happiness, can't achieve
Sure.
it, because it's
Right.
so complicated.
Yes.
And so then therefore I just thought there must be an easier way. And so through my search, through my journey, I found a way. And so I thought, it's got to be easier so that everyone can access to it. And that's my goal. So my
Wow.
goal is to help everyone to achieve the happiness, to live happier.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
book is not just for somebody who's not happy, as you probably know because you've read it now,
Right.
but it's for everyone to be happier.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's my goal.
You
Yes.
achieved it with me. It was excellent. It was a fantastic read, and I will refer many people to your book. Linda,
Oh, thank you so
you're
much.
so welcome. I want to talk about happiness, and Linda, as I talk to you about happiness, I understand completely that everyone has a different perspective of what happiness is. But I want to make a distinction with you. You and I are going to have a conversation through our interview that really looks at the construct of happiness, not from I'm happy when I have some external circumstance that bears happiness for me, like I get a brand new car, I get a raise. You and I are going to look a little bit more profoundly at this, and we're going to go to happiness that is initiated by one looking inwardly. In other words, as an inside out job.
Yes, yes. So throughout my journey, that's what I found. I talked to so many people. I witnessed it, all different walks of life. And the external, so in the book I share there's, external layers and internal layers. With the external layers, it doesn't last. Say, for example, you could give a child an ice cream and they'll be really happy that moment.
Right.
But once the ice cream is gone, the mood changes, right?
Sure.
So it doesn't quite last. Like I also did this. I discussed that the little moments contribute to our big moments.
Right.
But at the same time, there's different layers that I was trying to articulate and trying to lead readers to reach more from within. Because, say, for example, you might have the beautiful car, there could be an accident and the car's gone. And what happens to your happiness then?
Right.
Or
Sure.
you could try to work so hard to buy this beautiful beach house. I see it in Sydney. There's a natural disaster happen. You buy this multi-million dollars mansion by the beach and disaster strike and the house
And it's
gone. So
gone.
then what happens to your happiness then?
Right.
So then I was trying to lead the readers to join me to find happiness from within. And that's what I found. And that's more profound and that's more long lasting when it is from within, because nothing can take it away.
Yeah. And
Nothing can
and
take it
I
away
I
and nothing can affect it.
I love that. I love your point, and I want to reiterate the idea here, folks, is that yes, it's nice to get a beautiful car or a big beautiful house, no question about it. But as you mentioned, a natural disaster could happen, and here in Georgia, we get once in a while we get violent storms that come up through the Gulf of Mexico that are not necessarily hurricanes, but very violent tropical storms. We get a lot of tornadoes, and you're right, you get this beautiful house, and suddenly it's destroyed, or at least it's damaged. And if it's externally based, then as soon as it's damaged or gone, your happiness is gone. So today, Linda, I want to explore with you the notion of success related as an inside job, meaning we focus on learning to be happy based on our own internal exploration, if you will. So I want to talk to you briefly. I want to start it out this way, because we have to have some understanding. And I don't mean to go into specifics, but when we talk about happiness, when you describe happiness as an inside job, tell us a little bit more about what that means to you.
So what it means is that when you dependent on someone or something, if you depend on your spouse or your children or anybody or the car or the house, once any of those are gone, you will become very empty. Is that right?
That's right.
I find that, yes. So when you can find it from within, though, that's when you can become a lot more solid, a lot more strong emotionally, spiritually, because life can present us all sorts of circumstances.
Sure.
We all know that. We all know that as much as we want our loved one to be with us forever, but that's not the case.
It's not the case.
It is not the case. It is not the case. Even your deepest love, your soulmate, your children, your parents, we all want them to be with us forever.
Yes.
But I'm getting emotional already. I get very emotional very easily. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And that's from my experience. And I share that in the book as well. I lost my mom suddenly.
Right.
And there's just nothing. Nothing can replace that kind of happiness. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing can. So the only way you can go on then is to search within to find your own strength. And then you can find your happiness again. And that kind of happiness is what I'm trying to lead readers to find. Because when we lose the most important thing in our life, your happiness is just not there anymore, right? So what are you going to do? What are you going to do when no money can buy, your loved one? Nothing can replace. So it's a really profound way to discover when you discover your happiness from within. And it's very powerful. It has been for my journey. And that's what I want to share with everybody.
Well, let's look at this, Linda. How do you begin to coach someone to focus more inwardly, to look more inwardly on finding the grounding, finding the self-nurturing, finding the self-guidance that allows you to live through or to navigate? I think you know this. My mother died very recently as well, so you and I share that. And how do you go about? Maybe teaching isn't the right word, and I know you do this in a very good job through your book. But how do you, as people are listening to us or viewing us today, how do you help people begin to look inward to find that inner strength, that inner connection that fuels happiness in all the other areas of our lives?
Yes. So this is a big job, a big job Dr. Nelson is giving me right here with you guys all.
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry.
I'm gonna try.
It is. You'll do well. I know
magic.
you will.
Where's my magic wand?
There you go.
Okay, here's my magic wand. Everybody listen. Okay, I'm just kidding. So basically what I find is no university, no school, no other things can teach you except yourself. And the way to do it, it's simple. In my life, everything is just very simple, very practical. And it's so simple that some people don't even believe that it's possible. So I'm going to invite you to believe first that it is possible. And it is very simple. You don't need anything complicated. So simple as in get out of your house, get out of your office, and go and get lost in nature. And when I say that, it sounds big, but it's not really. Just go out for a walk. Just go out for a walk as much as you can. Be with nature as much as you can. If you're in busy city like in New York, in LA, it doesn't matter. You will find the spot, okay? You will find it. If you can't, turn on your YouTube screen with nature.
Beautiful.
So when you connect with nature, whether it's trees, park, bird, ocean, any of those, it will help you immensely in a very basic and profound way that you don't even think of.
Beautiful.
That's how you begin. That's what
it.
I would recommend.
Linda, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we have to take our first commercial break. Folks, we'll be right back. I have my very dear friend, Linda Duong, here, and we're talking about her best-selling book, Connection, The Currency to Happiness. We'll be right back.
Do you find it hard to trust and feel you have no control? Do you struggle to create loving relationships and feel guilty and ashamed? And do you feel not good enough, disconnected, and rejected? Sarah can change all of that with and for you. Sarah Griffiths is a sexual abuse trauma expert and specializes in helping people heal from the trauma of sexual abuse. She will help you feel whole again and remove all of those negative feelings, even when you think you have tried everything. Her methodology is cutting edge, unique, fast, and it works. Find out about her free 30-minute session at www.sallyg.com. That's SALLYG.com and experience it for yourself. Every emotional issue has a solution. Let Sarah help you find yours.
Still not on our UI Media app? You are missing out on the best shows that you don't get to see anywhere else. So what are you waiting for? Go to uimediaapp.com and start watching now.
All right, everybody, we're back. I'm Dr. Nelson Bulmash. You're listening to another edition of Health Matters. My guest is Linda Duong, and we're talking about her best-selling book, Connection, The Currency to Happiness. Linda, before we get started and I ask my next question, I have a couple announcements to make, and then we'll return to our interview here. Folks, don't forget you can connect with us online. If you want to follow us on social media, you may do so by connecting with us. There you go. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as United Intentions, and Higher Intention on Twitter. All right, the United Intention Foundation Seeds of Intention and Sprouts of Intention planners are much more than your typical daily planner. They teach you how to be aware of your thoughts. They encourage you to take one purposeful thought that is important to you, create an intention around that thought, and track the intention through manifestation. These planners are also fully functional. You can plan your day, your meetings, your homework, or whatever else your needs are so you can stay on task. They are also undated so you can start your journey at any time. Get yours today at unitedmedia.myshopify.com. Here they are right here. All right. Now, Linda, we're back. I love, Linda, there's so many things I love about your book. Like I wish I could capture you right here in time and space and have 4 hours to ask you all the questions.
We'll meet up one day. I'll come to US.
I like it.
Or you can come to Sydney.
Well, we'll do that. And I think one of these days you and I'll do a TV show. I don't know if you know I do some TV.
Yes.
So we'll do that too. Linda, one of the things that I like, because being somebody who's been in the martial arts for many years, you really embrace the idea of solitude, meaning you strongly recommend that people get used to the wonder of being able to be alone, whether it be in nature or in a comfortable spot, but being alone with your own thoughts to reflect upon and to help give you that quiet time to tap into that powerful internal voice that is so effective in guiding you. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, I find that these days a lot of people are so uncomfortable being on their own. And but it is so important, and it's so nurturing for your soul, your mind, and your heart. When we on our own, it gives us time and space in our heart and mind to even just feel our emotions, just to know, what am I feeling? What am I going through?
Right.
Whereas when you have so much going on, just go from one thing to another, you barely have time to actually feel what you're feeling.
Yes.
What am I feeling? If you don't even know what you're feeling, then how do you know whether you're happy or not? Whether you're truly happy or not? Simple, right?
Yeah, beautiful. Yes.
But although it sounds so simple, but unfortunately, we all fall into this pattern with this busy life now. We go from one motion to another. And so I just find that it's so important that we have some time to ourselves. And that is just the most profound moments that you could have. Like, they've done tests that they would ask people, would you prefer to be alone? Like, can you be alone in, I think it was about 15 minutes? Or would you prefer to get electric shock? It was shocking to know that people actually choose electric shock, which is, to me, it's
wow.
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
Yes.
I treasure my alone time. A matter of fact, 4 days out of the week, I make sure specifically that I have time where no one bothers me. And it's during those moments that I have some of my most profound thoughts about how to help people get better, how to develop new ways to help people regain their health, or even to find my own way. We all get lost or disoriented, maybe I should say, from time to time, and you need that quiet to like let the noise and the dust settle so you can get reoriented. So I love that that's such an important part of your work.
And absolutely, apart from that, apart from the 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 layers, the levels, so called, at first you want to know your emotions, and then, like you said, to let your creativity come in,
Yes.
whether to solve a problem, whether to have new ways, innovative ways to do your work, to let the creative mind have a chance to sprout. But more so, I want to take everyone on a higher level. When you have those quiet moments, is when you access to your higher self.
Beautiful.
What does it mean? It means that we all have a teacher within us, and
Yes.
that's my belief. And that's how I lived my life.
Yes.
Many people ask me, who's your mentor? Of course, that's my mom, my dad. That's always been. They
Right.
amazing. They really amazing. Um, and then I have great teachers throughout my life. But I also believe that we have a teacher within us, and I call it the higher self. People who go through a spiritual journey, they will know what it means, but a lot of other people go, what does that mean, right? So basically, what it means is that, the scientists will talk about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Basically, it's just that when you're quiet, you're able to think from this non-disturbed, non-biased viewpoint. And that's when your true potential comes out.
Yes.
That's when that you can access your pure thoughts,
Right.
that it just doesn't come from anywhere except from yourself.
Sure. And it
Like
and
if I could take this, sorry, doctor.
no, I just wanted to say that that's so important because what so many people I don't think really get is they don't feel comfortable. What do so many people here in the United States do? They run out and get a medication to alter the way they are thinking and feeling. And one of my mentors decades ago used to say, Nelson, you can't heal it if you don't feel it. And if you can't feel it,
Exactly.
not only can you not heal it, but you have no idea how to orient in time and space or with regard to the direction that you want to move for your life. So having that quiet time,
Absolutely.
yeah, to tap into that powerful, wise internal intelligence that guides us is so profound. Linda, I wanna.
It,
Oh, go ahead,
yeah.
please, Linda. Go right ahead. I'm sorry, there's a little bit
I
of a
was just gonna
delay. So
say, I was just gonna say, it is very profound. It's the
yes,
most profound way to find your true self.
Linda, I want to talk now about the real key factor that you taught me that I just never thought about. And I'm so grateful to you for what I'm going to bring up now because you brought first and foremost the notion of connection. Not that I didn't understand that to have really great relationships with yourself or others, you need to be connected, but you presented it in a way that allowed me to realize that the common thread of success in every part of your life is the notion of profound connection. Please talk to me about that, how you came up with that. That's such a brilliant concept to me.
Thank you, and I'm glad I was able to share that with you. Um, to me, it's not new. That's how I lived my life. That's how my parents did it,
Right?
and that's how I lived it. And so I just find that coming from an Eastern world is very different to the Western world.
Sure.
And so therefore, I'm trying really hard to share the wisdom from the Eastern world
Yes.
with the Western teaching to bridge us all together, because we all a global family, right?
Right.
We all, work globally, live globally, have friends globally. So the question was that, how did I come about it? Did you say, is that right? Sorry, I just
Yeah.
double checked the
No, no,
question.
no, no. You're fine. How did you come about it? And then what did you do with that the notion of connection to bring all areas of one's life into unification, into such a successful state of being?
Yeah. So, like I said, I pretty much just lived it, right? I just lived it from my parents' teaching. But how it came about is quite interesting. Um, so one day, this
Yes.
is when I first came to Australia
Right.
at the age of 15. I could barely speak English. I was looking for my happiness. And so I asked myself, what do I need? What do I need to be happy? So it was my palm. It was my palm that led me to realize that there was 5 factors that I wanted. So
Love it.
first, it was my family. And then I know that we need money to live because we just got here,
Right.
we haven't got jobs, right? So that was finance. And then I was lonely because I came with no friends. Of course, I had my family, but I don't have my friends
Sure.
yet at the
New,
time.
right.
Yes.
New
So then
country.
I needed friends. And then I also realized because I could not go many places by car. Now, don't get me wrong, in Australia, we do have cars,
Of course.
but I couldn't get on. I couldn't get on because I had such extreme motion sickness that I couldn't even get on the bus. I would choose to walk an hour to school. Rain, hail, sunshine. I walk an hour to school. I get soaking wet on rainy days and I got freezing cold, red nose, red ears by the time I
Oh,
get to school.
right.
So then I realized I need my fitness as well. Right. And then I was picking on this pinky. I was thinking, I watched my mom. She was so dedicated in what she does.
Right.
At the time she was a Buddhist. She goes to temple, but that wasn't what was drawn me to it. What drawn me to it was that she really devoted herself into charity work with the temple, with the nuns and the monks. They raise money here to bring the money back in Vietnam to help those who need it for the orphanage and for the people who need to have
Wow.
eye surgery,
Yep.
who have cataract but
Hmm.
didn't have means to. And so I just realized what I want to keep me happy is my palm, my 5 factors, and the
Yes.
5 F's,
Five
which I
F's.
shared in the book:
Right.
family, finance, friends, fitness, and fidelity.
Wow.
Now, this is the interesting one that I would invite everybody to read in the book to understand a little bit more. But if you like, I could read a little bit
Yes.
to share with everyone. So here's the book.
There you go.
So it is chapter 11,
I love your, by the
happiness
way,
and fidelity.
your quotes are fabulous. I just love how
Oh,
you put in
thank
those
you.
bold quotes. It just, yeah, I can open the page, go a few pages, and get another great quote that allows me to think for the next hours on something that's very beneficial to helping me move forward.
So I don't know if you could see on the screen. Self-love gives us love for life, brings greater love, and brings compassion. We gain deeper happiness and true contentment when we bring happiness to others.
Right. I love that.
So that's what my mother illustrated. And so, for that chapter, it's actually dedicated to all the charity workers and volunteer workers around the world. And I was going to read a little bit, but I'm not sure without on air timing. So, did
Well,
you want me to read a little bit, or did
let's do
you
this. We've
want
got
us to just talk?
no. You can certainly read a little bit, Linda. We've got about 1 minute, then we'll have to take another commercial break.
Oh, okay.
So you're
All right.
welcome to. If you
Well,
have something that you want to read, that would be just fine.
okay. So basically, in this chapter, I was trying to share that what fidelity really is, and there's one paragraph here. It is actually I invite everyone to actually read it because we won't have time to read this first chapter, which I was going to do. Um, it's about the external love, the eternal love.
Yes.
So fidelity is not what we think like between couples.
Right.
So my interpretation of it is the extended eternal love. And this extended eternal love is one that can be passed on for generations to come. As we have seen from Mother Teresa, for example, her love for others will be passed on indefinitely.
Right.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
I love that. Beautiful.
And so it is a very interesting topic, chapter that all my readers love that very much. So since we won't have time, I won't read it. but I invite everyone to check it out.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more. We're going to take our next commercial break, folks. I'm Dr. Nelson
Okay.
Bulmash, and I'm interviewing my very dear friend and best-selling author, Linda Duong, and we're talking about her book, Connection, the Currency to Happiness. We'll be right back.
Looking for comfort, relaxation, and special face and body treatments? Then be our guest at Equinosio the Spa, North Atlanta's premier natural day spa located in Roswell, Georgia. A relaxing way to treat yourself and your loved ones. We offer custom facials and skincare, personalized massages like our CBD massage for chronic pain relief, nail care with zero-gravity chairs, natural lash lift, and more. All set in a relaxing and refreshing spa environment. Everyone needs a place to relax, unwind, rewind, and escape. Find it at Equinosio the Spa, where wellness is beauty. Schedule your appointment today by calling 470-639-1599. Again, 470-639-1599. Or visit our website at equinosiothespa.com. That's EQUINOZIO, thespa.com to find out more.
Create the life you desire, one intention at a time. Yes, you manifest your intentions. Visit unitedintentions.org now for a life-changing experience.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Nelson Bulmash. I'm back. I have an amazing guest. Her name is Linda Duong, and we're discussing her book, her best-selling book, titled Connection, the Currency to Happiness. Before we begin the interview again, I have a couple more points I want to mention with you. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow on the Good Intention Show, conscious host Tim Ray will be interviewing pranic healer, internal family systems practitioner, and licensed metaphysical minister, Reverend Ursula Lentine. Also, you may have just heard this, but I want to reiterate, thank you to Equinosia, the interesting name there, the spa, North Atlanta's premier natural day spa, for sponsoring today's show. Schedule your appointment today by calling 470-639-1599 or visit their website to find out more at equinosia.com. All right, let's get back to the interview. Linda, thank you so much. I want to mention something. Years ago, and I mean, this is already 35 years ago, I had a wonderful girlfriend and ended up moving away. We didn't get married, but one of the things that she was so big on, and she was really, I think, the person that fueled the notion in me to give to charities. And, I started feeding the homeless. I started doing work for elderly people who couldn't afford to have me, by paying me to get their groceries, to clean their homes. I did all kinds of these things. And one of the things that she taught me was, if you're having a bad day, if you're having a bad life, go help other people. And I just love the point that you made, that when you contribute, when you give to charities, and I want to brag about you for a moment, not that you need me to, but you do a huge amount of charity work, and so does your whole family. But when you do that, you set things in motion that help people potentially long after you leave this world. So if you would, I want to just briefly mention to everybody, maybe I should let you mention, tell us about some of the charities that you have. You're huge, your whole family, your kids are even huge in charity. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Perhaps it's easy if I talk about my kids first than myself.
Okay, all right. Sure, whatever you like. Absolutely.
So my daughter, who's now 11, she started when she was 6 years old, very tiny, when she was only in grade 1. And her brother was in grade 3, 8 years old.
Right.
So 6 years old and 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So they started making little hearts from hammer beads. So the first year they raised $500 for the Starlight Children's Foundation. And that's a foundation that grants wishes for cancer patient children.
Mm.
So if a child says, oh, I want to be a superhero, they will dress them up. They will take them to movie world or Sea World and be like a hero for that day to grant
Yes.
their wish. If they say they want to see the barrier reef, that's what they will do.
Wow.
So the first year they did that, her brother was really cute. Her brother was saying, "You're only 6 years old. Let's be realistic. Just aim for 150."
Oh,
And in the end, she tripled it. So she was really happy.
wow.
So then
Fantastic.
the next year she did it for cerebral palsy. She just come home one Friday and say, Mom, can I do September? And I had no idea what it was. She took a whole 5 minutes to explain to me. And I said, how long do you want to do? I go, what do you need to do? She said, I need to walk 10,000 steps a day. And I said, how long do you want to do it? She said, 6 months. And I said, are you
Wow.
sure? She goes, yes. She was just really determined. And so, luckily, when we call the cerebral palsy September, they say the campaign's only for 1 month and it's in September.
Right.
And so she inspired her friends to do that as well at school. So some of her friends joined to do that as well. So she would then, since then, she will alternate the two charity for Starlight Children's Foundation and for cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
And
Right.
so then in 2016, they both did painting to sell their painting.
Right.
She won an award. She got a commended award. And they collect donations. They ran the raffle tickets, and they collected $2,600 that year for Starlight Children's Foundation.
Wow. Wow.
And so this year, they also sold some painting at school because one family was in need. One family, the mom had cancer the third time with a dad who had stroke and a special need child. So they're really in need. And so by now they've raised over $4,000 together.
Incredible. That's incredible. And they're little
Yeah.
kids. They're little kids. That's unbelievable.
And the cutest thing was last year. She said, Mom, can I do September again? And I said, no, I'm too busy because I've got to sign up for her because, they can't manage money. We
Of
have to
course.
sign up for them.
Sure.
And it was my way of saying, look, have a break. And I was busy with my book, with my speaking and everything. And guess what she did?
She did it anyhow?
She went and asked her dad, can you just sign up for me? I can do it, but I just need you to sign up.
How inspiring.
So
That's
she
wonderful.
wouldn't give up. She wouldn't give up. And so she did it again. Last year, she raised over $500.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just a very heartwarming spirit when you see children, very self-driven to
Right.
do
To help
for
others. That's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Linda, I want to switch gears. I want to talk to the central theme once again that we talked about. I want to talk about the notion of connection. So you speak a lot, of course, initially about connecting profoundly to oneself and how important that is, and that you really, until you start to really connect with yourself, your inner spirit, your inner guide, so to speak, that it's difficult to profoundly connect to others, and then, of course, we can extrapolate that onto the world. So talk a bit more about how you can connect with others to create more profound relationships, whether it be with your wife, your husband, your boss, because the notion of really connecting, meaning the more deeply, more profoundly you connect, the ramifications are so incredible. Talk a little bit about that, whether it be, for friends, family, bosses. I just love the chapter on that.
Yeah, so we all hear it, right? We can all be in the same room, but each one of us on our gadget.
Yes, right. Texting away.
And so we're not really there with each other, are we?
Right.
Like we don't really even hear what the other person say. I mean, I've experienced that myself. Some days my son would be just talking to me. I go, oh, hold on, what did you say? Can you
Yes.
repeat that again?
Yes.
So when we are not really present with ourselves, when we're not really connecting with ourselves, we barely have time and space in our mind for other people.
Yes.
And it's like, if you're not here, your mind is not here, then you can really barely relate to other people. Even when they tell you what they tell you, you just don't have that
Connection.
sense of compassion or truly
Right.
understanding. And especially at work, a lot of people would just say, work is just work. I just go there and do my job and go, right? Yes, that could be the way before, but more so now, I think we really need to connect with each other because all sorts of things happen. We're living in a very diverse life at the moment.
Yes.
Things can change, things can move,
Right.
You never know that maybe at work is the only time they see people. Some people could go home to a lonely home when they are divorced or lost their partner.
Yeah.
Some people, like, maybe at work is the only place they have a chance to be with other
Other
humans,
human beings. Right.
you know. And so, it would be really, it's my wish that we all really, be open and really be present too, so that we can be there for each other. It doesn't mean in any big way. It could just simply really mean to know that you're here. We all want to feel validated, right? We
Yes.
all want to feel that
Yes.
we existed.
Yeah. They were
And
important. Sure.
we're not really existed if two of us just sitting there and you on your own and I'm on my own. And, it's not the same,
Right.
right? But when and we can't be there for each other if we're not here for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we really got to be knowing that we here, meaning heart and mind presence,
Yes.
not elsewhere. Like, you could be drinking your coffee but thinking about the bills, thinking about everything else. Are you drinking your coffee or are you drinking your bill? Are you really you worry about everything else? Are you drinking your coffee or are you drinking your worry?
Right. Well,
you know
it's interesting
so
because we have a lot of craziness. I apologize. I don't know a lot about what goes on in Australia, but we've had 3 mass shootings in a matter of days here in the United States. Horrible, horrible situations. And I was reading your book and I was thinking, if somebody had taken the time to connect with these 3 mass shooters, could it have made a difference? I can't help but think that the life of someone who would kill innocent people must be remarkably disconnected, not only from themselves, but to people and the world at large. I want you to think about something a moment. I'm going to pose something funny to you. I used to work security in big nightclubs, and there was a lot of violence. And I used to think to myself, if people would spend more time focusing, and I didn't know at the time, I was in my 20s, on finding happiness, on finding ways to give more self-purpose, self-love, then you don't find people, Linda, like if you and I were together right now in the same room, I wouldn't say to you something like, Linda, I feel particularly healthy and balanced right now. Let's go out and get in a bar fight. You don't do that. You don't do that. And so my point is, I hope a lot of people worldwide read your book, because the notion of using connection to foster deeper, more empathic, more compassionate understanding of ourselves and therefore those around us and the world at large gives us a global connection that is necessary if we're ever going to go beyond the division, particularly here in the United States. Once again, forgive me, Lynn, I don't know what's going on in terms of ideological differences, political differences in your country, but we're the most separated that I remember since the 1960s when we had the race riots. So I'm so glad that you and I are having this conversation right now.
I'm so glad too. And you're absolutely right. If those people were more self-connected, there's no way. It's not in any way I could imagine they could do that.
No.
When we are connected, we have our feelings. You tune into your feelings.
Right.
And you have your feelings. And once you have your feelings, you know how it would be for other people.
Yes. Yes.
Self-love is the most important love. It's infinite love. When we have self-love, that's when we have love for other people.
Right.
And so those people, I would imagine, I'm not a psychologist, and so I can only imagine they don't have much self-love, because if they do, they would not do anything like that.
No. Well, that's what I'm suggesting is you don't want to go out and hurt people when you're happy with yourself and the people you're connected to around you. Violence is not a natural expression, in my humble opinion. Once again, I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a sociologist, but I just know that when I'm happy, I don't want to hurt people.
And even if they are not yet happy,
right.
Even if they're on the journey of finding themselves, we all go through it. I went through the whole journey of finding myself before I found my happiness.
Sure.
Even if they're not truly happy yet, when they are connected, when they have emotions and feelings and know how they feel.
Yes.
When you know how you feel, you naturally have a sense of how other people feel
Must
at the
feel.
same time,
That's
because
right.
we're all human,
Yeah.
regardless whether you're in US or I'm in Australia. We all just human.
Yes.
We all have same emotions.
Right.
And so if they did tune in, if they did connect to themselves, there's no way
No way.
that I could imagine
No.
that things like that could happen.
I'm
No.
with you.
Yeah.
Linda, we're going to take our last commercial break and we'll be right back. Folks, I'm Dr. Nelson Bulmash. My guest is Linda Duong, and we're talking about her book, Connection, the Currency to Happiness. We'll be right back.
Hey Atlanta, a lot of people these days imagine their retirement kind of like an endless drive in a gas guzzler, worried they're going to run out of gas. Only in retirement, it's running out of money. At CFK, we encourage our clients to think of retirement as an epic journey. And on this journey, you're going to need to know where you are now, where you're headed, and how to get there. We create the roadmap for your entire trip and guide you along the way. You can get started by meeting with Frank Kelly in person if you're in the Metro Atlanta area. Visit cfkfinancial.com or just reach out to have a chat with Frank at 678-784-4090. CFK Financial is retirement well planned. Frank Kelly is an investment advisor representative of Retirement Wealth Advisors Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor. CFK Financial, Retirement Wealth Advisors, and the United Intentions Network are not affiliated.
This is UI Media Network's show on WTTA 101.2 FM, and we bring authentic content to you. So stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Nelson Bulmash. I'm back, and you're listening to the final 15 minutes of my show, Health Matters. And I have Linda Duong, my guest. She's a best-selling author of the book, Connection, the Currency to Happiness. And we're talking about the key factor, which is connection. Connection to self, connection to each other, connection to nature, connection to the universe. And in being connected, profound things can move us forward in life to help us be, as Linda said, successful in our own pursuit of happiness, in our finances, with our friendships, with our fitness, and with our ability to have what is available to us so that we can contribute to the world at large through charity organizations. Linda, I want to, I know you said don't pick your brain, and this will be gentle, I promise. But I just want to know, when I have an amazing guest like you, is there anything in particular about your book or about our conversation that you would love to share in the last minutes of the show? I know I did promise you that I was going to ask you one last question. I'm going to save that for about 5 more minutes. But in our discussion right now, what comes to mind that you'd like to share with the listening and viewing audience?
I think the most important thing, that if I have to only share one thing, there's so many things in the book. Each time I reread it, I found something different, because it's different stories, and we all feel different at different stage of our life.
Yes.
So then therefore each time you read it, you see something different. You
Right.
see a different message,
Yeah.
a different story resonate better. But if there's only one thing I must
I'll
share,
tell you what, I'll give you 2, Linda. I'll give you 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, the one thing is, it's solitude.
Yeah.
Solitude. Have solitude time. Practice. Try to be on your own. Try to learn how to be on your own and connect with yourself. It is so profound. I have achieved every single dream I have in my life. I had a dream when I was 5, when I was 7, when I was 10, when I was 15, and I'm still achieving. Now, none of them are necessarily in terms of financial, but they are my dreams. So
Right.
I had dream of making beautiful dress. I opened a bridal boutique, design personal dresses.
Yes.
I dream of seeing the world. I traveled the world. I've been to Alaska 21 years ago. And I dream of helping other kids to learn. So I became a teacher, and now I'm still teaching different formats.
Right.
And after I came to Australia, I saw art gallery for the first time, because I didn't even have color pencils in Vietnam.
Wow.
And so then I have studied visual art, and I have exhibitions, and I won awards. And my self-portrait in 2016 was one of the finalists on
Mm,
the theme of
goodness.
equality. So when you have quiet time, it allows you to recognize, who am I? If you don't know who you are, how do you know if you're happy or not?
Yeah.
Who am I? Am I happy? How am I happy? What makes me happy? What makes me not happy?
Right.
What gets me grumpy? What's
Yeah.
in the way?
Yeah.
How can I calm myself down? And all of those process will lead you to access to your true self. And that's when you access your true potential. Because all these years, each time I see my friend, I'm doing something different.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, another dream. Oh my God, another dream, right?
Yes.
Another thing. And if I was very busy following the trend, so called following whatever, I would be so distracted that I would not remember any of my childhood dreams.
Yes. Yes.
These are all my childhood dreams.
Right.
So when you stay connected, you truly understand who you are, what you want, what makes you happy, meaning what brings you joy. Happy is a word that is described a lot more on the surface feeling, but I actually really want to emphasize the word of joy. What brings you joy, And so only when you have quiet time that you can work through that,
Sure.
what brings me joy?
Right.
What brings me a smile on my face? What touched my heart? It's like you might see a little cute panda and then you go, oh, like my daughter, each time she sees a dog, she just melts.
Right.
And it's like the black, dirty dog, like, he's been running in the
Yes.
mud. And
Yes.
she
Yes.
just go, oh, and I look at it, I go, oh, really, it is cute, but not heart melting straight
Right.
away. But that's how it's like. If you know it yourself, if you truly know yourself, you will know what so-called brings smile to you,
Yeah.
what touches your heart, what gets you irritated so that you can avoid it. It's all about mastering our own emotions.
Right.
And
Right.
so, if I have to share one thing, that will be the most profound thing, because we all are too busy chasing whatever it is that we have to do,
Yeah.
that we think that is important. But not until that last day comes, you don't really know what's most important
Yeah.
sometimes,
Sure.
right? But
Beautiful.
by tuning into yourself, by having those solitude moments, it really helps you. And you don't have to wait to the last moment to say, oh my God, that's what I want.
Right.
Oh
Well,
my God, that's what I really should have done all this
yeah.
time.
Well, I have
You
such an
know how they said,
appreciation for that because, Linda, once again, if you, particularly if you teach yourself, if you train yourself to have quiet time, even if it's 5-10 minutes every day, it really helps reorient you. Recently, as I mentioned, you and I discussed this. My mother passed, and my father gave me an invaluable lesson. Before he died, he told me he had very severe diabetes, and he said to me, "Son." This was when I was 15 years old. Once again, another interesting point that you and I share. I was 15 years old. My father pulled me aside. I'll never forget this, Linda. And he said, "Son, I need to talk to you." And I said, "Yeah, what's going on, Dad?" He said, "Listen, I have severe diabetes. It is unlikely that I will live a long life." And he died when he was not quite 78 years of age. So he lived a long time with severe diabetes. But he said to me this. He said, "Learn to find comfort in yourself. Learn to spend time reflecting on your life. Because one day, son, one day I will be gone. I will not be here to mentor you. I will not be here to be your father." He said, "Mourn my loss as you need to. But if you really want to honor me and you want to honor my memory, then do me this favor and do yourself this favor. And that is create an extraordinary life for yourself. To do that, you must learn how to be with your own thoughts." And so recently my mother died, and I thought that I could hear my dad speak. "Son, I know how much you loved your mother. Take time to grieve her loss, but love her memory and keep her memory by having an incredible life." So it allowed me to reasonably quickly move on with my life. And that comes all out of the solitude of being able to be with one's own thoughts and then to get used to knowing what to do with them. Linda, we have just a matter of minutes left. I have to ask you this. Someone like you is always up to such incredible things. I would love to know, with whatever you'll share with us currently. I'm sure some of it, thank you so much, is, you can't share with us because there are a lot of people listening to us right now, and you might not want millions of people knowing exactly what you're thinking. But I'd love to know what your next big project or projects are, if you could speak, for 2 or 3 minutes on that.
Sure. I have 3 global projects.
Of course you do.
But the biggest one,
I love that.
the biggest one is an extension from the book, that we're trying to create a more connected society, because
Yes.
that's my wish, is for everyone to be more connected, and that's how we can find more true happiness more in a more profound way.
Right.
So I have ambassadors around the world waiting for me to launch it. We're getting very close to launching it.
Beautiful.
So if anybody who's interested to be part of this, it's not a movement as such, it's a way of life. It's a way of life. I'm trying to recreate what I have benefited. That's how I live my life.
Yes.
And I've achieved all my dreams. So I would love to share it. So basically, the idea is that we're trying to create a more connected society. So the theme of the book is 3 hearts. I've got a heart on today too.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The camera was blocking it. I didn't see that, Linda. Good for you. Yes.
So heart number 1 is love and connection for ourselves.
Yes.
Heart number 2 is with each other. Heart number 3 is for the whole universe, right? So it's with 3 hearts. It's with 3 hearts. So we have ambassadors all around the world.
Yes.
And so if anybody's interested, if anybody feel that, you're also a heart-centered person, and you want to be an instrumental leader in your own community, please do get in touch. So that's the biggest one. The other one that I'm also launching is hand embroidery. Using hand, I go to the elementary schools. You call it elementary, we call it
Yes.
primary schools,
Right.
or high schools, or anywhere. I actually teach hand embroidery, but I teach self-leadership from that. So I'm using hand embroidery to teach self-leadership. And the children just love it. The boys couldn't wait to start it. The
Love
boys
it.
are the one who first do embroidery. I busted 2 myths. The myth number 1 was that all kids want these days is computer games. It's not true. They could not wait to start it. They just like us. They want something new. They want
Yes.
inspiration.
Right.
Myth number 2, only girls do embroidery and only girls do sewing and embroidery. Not true. It was the boy who couldn't wait to start and the boy who finished it first. So
Fantastic.
it's so exciting. So my wish for that is every school will teach that in every single class.
Wow.
So I'm having some facilitators now in Ireland this month that I will pass on the skill. So if any teachers are interested in that, please also get in touch. The third one is another profound one is with my book. As you read it, you know that it's not a straight how-to book. It's not
No.
like step 1 do
Yes,
this, step 2
that's
do
right.
this. It's full of wisdom, isn't
Wisdom,
it? It's
that's
all
right.
about wisdom. It's
Yes.
about how to live your life. So we're trying to put that into curriculum. We're trying to turn that into lessons so that we can teach at school, because I'm hearing more and more that because of computer games, we've become very disconnected. So I've got educators really interested. So we're trying to, we're trying to share that with school teachers so that
Fantastic.
again we can teach it.
Linda,
So 3
so
big global
fantastic.
projects
I
happening.
knew you'd be up to a lot. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for our friendship. I intend to have many years of fostering our friendship and doing projects together so that we can start to
Thank
bring back,
you.
start to decrease the width of the chasm that separates us, which is just ridiculous to me. I know I only.
And thank you for that. And I welcome you to be our ambassador.
I will
Thank
do
you
so
much.
joyously. Linda, I hope you'll stay on for 1 second. I've got to close out the show. I'll be right back, okay? Folks, this
Sure.
was Linda Duong, and we're talking about her best-selling book, Connection, The Currency to Happiness. Next week, Dr. Charles Krieger will be in, and I will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you for everything. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Welcome to Matters with Dr. Nelson Bulmash, sponsored by the UI Radio Network at uiradionetwork.org. Catch us on Facebook and Instagram at United Intentions and Twitter at Higher Intention. Look for us on 99.1 FM, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and many more. Over the next hour, we'll introduce you to some fascinating people and engaging discussions that may provide you with answers to assist in revolutionizing your own personal health. And now, here's Dr. Nelson. Want to keep up with everything we're doing? Well, it's simple. Join our email newsletter today and be a part of the United Intentions family. Every Friday, we release our community newsletter detailing our shows, our events, and a mantra for the week that you can use to become more mindful, more positive, and more in tune with your intentions. Start manifesting your passions with our intentional newsletter. Sign up at our websites at www.unitedintentions.org or www.uiradionetwork.org and be a part of our